Taylor Swift, the man, the myth, the legend. There's a lot of hype surrounding her lately, and rightfully so, considering she is currently embarking on what is arguably the most anticipated and widely attended concert tour ever. In my opinion. It is the Eras Tour, and I knew I would have to make a video or two about that. After all, Era is my middle name, if you consider my first name Mick. Because there are so many eras, 10 to be exact, I'll be splitting this into 2 parts. And in today's video, part 1, we're going to see the first 5 delectable eras. And throughout this series, I'd like to pay homage to a few of my own eras, throwing in little Easter eggs to remind you of my past. That's not my brush here. I just figured it's fun. And I want to throw it out there real quick. If you make any of the pieces that I'm going to show you how to make, if you make any of the pieces I'm going to show you how to make in this video, feel free to tag me in a post on Instagram and I will share you to my story. Starting with the debut album, at first it seemed there was nothing singularly notable about this era, until I realized some stray butterflies had photobombed her shot. And boy was I glad they did, because I have been looking for an excuse to make a butterfly top for ages. After jotting down a quick sketch, I haphazardly made a pattern. The fabric I chose is stretchy, giving me a lot of grace in terms of how well it would fit, because if I chose an inflexible fabric, the garment may not fit all too well. Then I had to decide what material to use for the butterfly's body, and I am a lucky one because my genius friend Stephanie happened to be there to explain the Hogwarts houses to me, but more importantly to help me with creative decision making. Guys, Stephanie had a stroke of genius. She said we should braid the gold fabric down the middle of the butterfly. She's a Ravenclaw, you know what I mean. You're a Hufflepuff. I'm a Hufflepuff. I'm Mrs. Puffs. So I braided and sewed on 3 strips of gold fabric, then sewed 4 more into little tubes that would serve as straps/antennas. Attention deficit disorder. And then I sewed those on while sitting in the balcony in summer air. But the top was still a bit plain and practically begging to be bejeweled. So I made some wing-like designs using sequin trim. Quick poll, was anyone else a sadistic child who would rub the color off of butterfly wings and use it as eyeshadow? Where was it?
Under the stove.
I'm excited to see it. Before moving on to the next era, I took a break from sewing to enjoy a sleepover with my parents' other daughter's daughter. Are you recording something?
She's going to say of her.
We roamed the streets that night, as anyone would do with a child left in their care, and happened across some typical New York oddities.
Someone thinks it's a sacrifice. The apple bones.
My favorite thing about New York, though, is that main character feeling you get when walking through one of the many fog machines the city has to offer.
Fog machines on every corner. I love this place.
Nothing else gives me quite the cinematic rush that does. Only made except for that Nicole Kidman short film, you know, where she's like, come to this place for magic. Come to AMC theaters to laugh, to cry. I have the whole thing memorized. It's nothing. Okay, let's settle something, by the way. That, her little spiel set to music, is that a song or is it not a song? Because Josh and I were arguing about that. And he says... Actually, I won't tell you who thought what until I find out what you all think. 2 points if you can guess the next era. I'll give you a hint. I was kind of fearful to start the next project, but then I remembered the next project was Fearless. When I think of fearlessness, what comes to mind is miners. Not like miners, but like miners, the ones that mine for gold. And when you think about it, gold miners aren't very common. They're something of a fringe group. So it comes as no surprise that Taylor often conveys this notion of fearlessness with gold fringe. She really is the artistic mastermind of our generation. To start this one, you're going to take a square of fabric and fold one corner of it in to about the length of a groundhog. Now, if you look very closely, you'll notice that I'm not cutting off the tips of my fingers in the process. This is actually intentional. Now, I personally recommend the not cutting your fingertip strategy, but of course that's optional. Now to create a cowl neckline, you're gonna I'll tell you later. Make some straps by doing a really good job at knowing how to do that. Then fix them to the long edge of your triangle about a forearm's length apart. Cut off the corner triangles of your triangle because this channel is anti-Illuminati. Is Illuminati still a thing? Then you're gonna set your video to 0.5 speed to figure out what I'm doing here. If you don't want to spend money on real fringe, you can just put the end of your top through a paper shredder to create a fringy look. You could leave it like this. It's fine. It gets the point across, but I think it would look a lot more fearless if we did real fringe. So I decided to buy some fringe online using today's sponsor, PayPal Honey. Now, in keeping with the Taylor Swift theme, I decided that I'm going to share about our sponsor in song form. But because Taylor Swift is ruthless and very aggressive when it comes to copyright claims, we're going to try to make it sound as little like a Taylor Swift song as possible. I thought buying fringe would be pretty cool, but to pay full price, I'd be a fool. If you're getting cotton, nylon, or wool, you better use an online shopping tool. PayPal Honey saves you money. Shoes, video games, meal delivery. Honey gives you discounts on all 3. And any other buy you can find online, Honey's got your back. And oh, it's free. Think you got the best price, so you want to bet? Honey scans every corner of the internet. Find the best coupons that you can get. Check it out for yourself if you think I'm full of it. Pants, plants, a home for your ants. They find the best deals that the internet grants. Brews, a fuse, did I mention shoes? Honey has 100K 5-star reviews. Bags, flags, dope name tags. If you wear a dog, your tail would wag.
Can I tell you about the deals that Honey snags?
Deals so good, you'll have to brag. If you want to check it out, I got good news. Honey is available to all of yous. 18% is the average save. Fat stacks of cash is what you crave. Why settle with a price that's just okay when you could use the best shopping tool in the USA? Just follow my link if you don't stink. Cause why would you throw all your money in the sink?
Hey, how Honey saves you money. Hey, how Honey saves you money.
Hot tub, big rugs, whole milk, chug chug, fish oil, plant soil, deals that make your blood boil. Okay, enough of this. I think you get the picture. Please do yourself a favor and acknowledge all the hard work I put into this song by getting Honey using the URL joinhoney.com/Micarah. Now back to the Taylor Swift video. Time to leave, scaredy cats, cause here comes the fearless reveal. Quick, you get 2 points if you can shout out what era comes next now. Just 1 point if you can shout it out now. And 0 points if you can shout it out now. But you don't have to shout it. You can just speak it. When I think of speak now, I think of the time I trained a puppy to bark when I said the word speak. Her name was Grandma and she was a border collie. The word collie reminds me of cauliflower, which I've never actually eaten. I've never had celery either, and I never will. Everyone's always told me that I would love olives, but I tried one recently and it was nasty. I don't need to like any other vegetable though, so long as I can have carrots and cabbage. I love cabbage. I tried it for the first time in Kenya. Sometimes cabbage does this thing where it's purple, so I decided to go with purple for our speak now dress. I had some old purple curtains I needed to mutilate anyway, and there's a dress pattern I sketched ages ago that I've been looking for an excuse to make. I feel like the most notable things to involve when portraying the speak now era are purpleness, flowiness, and going through the trouble of writing a whole love song to a man you met at a party, then ghosting him after he releases his own cover of that song. Oh yeah, these are the pattern pieces, easy peasy. Oh wait, never mind, those are just some of the pattern pieces. You're also going to cut out a skirt and some long ribbons. I recommend drinking protein powder to ward off osteoporosis. And if you were hoping for sewing advice, my advice is this: find a better teacher. Because I would rather spend this time telling you the story of the time I met Taylor Swift in person. But I can't, because it never happened. So I'll tell you instead about the time I was kind of a telemarketer for a couple months. I used the experience to refine my accents. I faked a different accent for every single phone call I made. Sometimes I was from Ireland, sometimes North Dakota, and you know I loved being from New Zealand. I really hated being Scottish though. I think that story, in some grander way, applies to all of us. Before calling the dress finished, I threw some gather stitches into the dropped waist. Now tug, 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 little one, then you are done. I knew I wanted to get a quality picture inspired by the iconic Speak Now album cover, but I trusted that I could not trust myself to do so. Luckily, my cousin met some lady from Utah on the internet, and it just so happened that that lady was passing through Ohio on a day that I'd be there. It also just so happens that this lady was a very good photographer, and her assistants looked very much like children. I am super grateful for her willingness to figure it out.
We're gonna figure it out.
And figure it out she certainly did, because the result was nothing short of enchanted. She also got a ton of cool other pictures of me and my son and my cousins, so I recommend you check her out on social media. I will put her info in my description. 3 points if you can shout out what era comes next before I show it on screen. When I think of red, I think of Hugh Jackman's jacket in The Greatest Showman. I don't like that movie, but I didn't hate it too much to make some of the costumes from it, including the jacket in question, which looks suspiciously similar to Taylor's red ringmaster costume. Now, I could have just slapped this baby on and called it a day, but that wouldn't be very good for summer, and it wouldn't be good content. And also, I lost it. So I grabbed some stretchy fabric and traced my favorite tank top. Make sure you use a zigzag stitch when working with stretchy fabrics, otherwise the results may be treacherous. Oh, and if you haven't noticed, you're all playing a little game right now, and there's a point system. You get points for the following: a point for each time you noticed me saying a Taylor Swift song title, points for correctly guessing the next era, and 3 bonus points if you're watching with a pet. Be sure to let me know how many points you got so that I can half-heartedly congratulate you. Now here I am talking about the haircut I needed to give myself for the red era, which famously involves bangs. I can do what I want! You're not my father. I had a father. His name was Ben Parker. Command Z. Cares. Hair is definitely shorter than this too. Listen, something that's gonna be kind of confusing is my hair might seem longer at the end of this video because I'm filming this very out of order. Now don't come after me, Swifties, but I got my eras confused. I was picturing Taylor's 1989 haircut and not her long hair that she had for red. Ow! Moral of the story, I gave myself a bob for red and I didn't need to. Shoot. So yeah, there's my red haircut. Doesn't it look uncanny? I'm allergic to bread. And you know what rhymes with bread? Red. I just want to assure you that this was not like a gender reveal. I don't know why I did it. I think I meant to do it for Lover, not Red. Okay, now who knows what era is next? I'll give you an unhelpful hint. It's my favorite Taylor Swift album. 1989. 1989 was a great year, and this is what Taylor Swift looked like back in 1989. Crop tops, skater skirts, and bomber jackets galore. So for 1989, I am going to make a skater skirt, and I'm going to try to make this the fastest project yet, and I'm incentivizing myself by saying I'm not allowed to pressure wash until I get this skirt done, and I love pressure washing.
Snip, snip. Fold, fold. Circle skirt. Waistband. So. Crop top. Make straps, make straps, make straps.
The haircut makes sense now. I'm Taylor Swift in front of someone's garage. Not mine, though. That's all for today. Stay tuned till next time to see how I embody these eras. And don't forget to go to joinhoney.com/Micarah because I worked really hard on that song. Oh no, not yet. Next time. Okay, stay tuned till next time, and we'll pick up there.